about to head off for a steam train ride. It's the first time since COVID started that we're heading off. So I'm about to hop into one with my father, who's a train enthusiast. He used to work on the 3801 and volunteer restoring that. In a beautiful compartment here, you can have a look around. It's got parents free of charge as well. It's part of the experience. Gorgeous little centre there, and we're about to go for a very quick little trip. Let's see what happens.
Smell that. Steam soot.
Gorgeous, clean energy being produced.
Nothing quite like that sound.
Wind in his hair.
His eye.
If you have a listen, it sounds like a sound from a different era. Very, it just feels luxurious. You've got this kind of back and forth of the carriage kind of taking you left and right as it kind of chugs along. But it does just feel like you're in a different vehicle for a different time. And the sound nowhere near as loud as I thought it would be as we're just travelling along here. We're in carriage C, which is second class, I believe. If this is second class, can you imagine how nice first class is? But a beautiful day to take a train trip. We're starting to go up a hill. You can actually hear the engine start to kick in a little bit more. I'm afraid we've reached the end of the line. So the steam engines are going to stop, and they're going to decouple it, and it'll basically go around on a little rail around the entire train, and then hook to the back of the train, so that we can go back the way we came. You can hear though, as you're listening, the engine literally slowing down as we are approaching a stop. So we've arrived at Buxton Station. A couple of well-wishers here taking photos of the train as we go past. This is the first steam train ride. Today was the first. This is about the fourth of today. First steam train ride you've been able to go on since COVID started. Got some very strong enthusiasts here with a drone. New technology meeting old technology. Taking some footage of this train in action. So you can see here the locomotive's about to come. You can see it in action as it goes along. The steam coming out.
And here it comes.
Here she comes, the 3526. Oh yeah, they can go ridiculously high. It was actually quite interesting as it went past to feel the heat that came off the cabin where the fire is stoked. It must be such hard work shoveling coal into that and staying there. I can only imagine how fit some of the men must have been when they did these trips day in and day out for hours on end. You would have loved just coming off at the end of the shift and getting a nice cool drink for sure. You can see here just the amount of soot that is created from these steam trains, and the difference that would have been there if you're in a first and second class carriage with proper ability to close windows, etc., and just how filthy you would have got at the back of the train as this soot comes flying in. Yeah, like big chunks. It's not like it's a tiny bit. This is good, chunky bits of soot. My grandparents were on the south coast and met on a train quite similar to this one. Hilda was sitting down, getting ready to travel into the city, into Sydney for work, and Alec, a young, strapping young man, sat next to her, and they just chatted on their way up into the city. And when it was time to alight, they exchanged pleasantries, and a date was made for another meeting, of which I am the eventual result. I always, when I was told the story, imagined for some reason a modern train, but this was quite a while ago, and it was more likely in a carriage similar to this one that the meeting occurred. was a family with 4 small boys up in the next part of the carriage, and they've given us that authentic feel of small children fighting with each other on the train. So many train trips over time have had these little soundtracks of squabbling. It's wonderful to listen to for a very short period of time.
Or do we just leave it for the deep clean?
I think we've got the governor's carriage in there too.
Oh, right.
The governor had a special carriage he used to when he travelled.
Yep.
So let's put on the end of the train and he had his own carriage.
Wow. There you go. I guess if you've got to be in charge, you want to travel in style.
Yeah, it was just gone out so luxuriously. No
Yep.
one was ever allowed into it.
It's a security thing as well.
Yeah.
See just the heat coming off. Smoke and steam. Thus ends our adventures on the 3526. See through. So we've got built in Everley in 1915. So the train that we just travelled on was built during World War One. The Messer men in my family, as in my mother's side, all worked at Penrith at the train works from the 1860s onwards. And it's amazing that we've still got this incredible machine here working with us in working order, lovingly maintained by volunteers. But just the sheer thought that this is a technology that completely transformed the way that society functioned. Even during the Industrial Revolution in the UK, the fact that these trains were available and were able to travel from one region to the next so quickly compared to horse and cart, compared to boats, meant that they actually had to start changing times. Before, there was no universal system of times, and they were having problems where trains were literally crashing into each other because different parts of the UK had different times. And so just one of the many changes in the way society functions happened because of these trains that we travelled on today. Really, it was a complete revolution. The speed at which they were able to travel, the amount they were able to pull, changed trade and the way that it worked, as well as changed the way that we as people holiday. Many people were able to go on holidays who before and previous to that simply were unable to do so. And so it opened up complete new parts of the world for those people. And here we are in 2020, travelling once more on these steam trains.